When my family didn't even bother inviting me to my brother's graduation party, I treated myself to a week in Hawaii, and while I relaxed oceanfront, their big celebration crumbled without me. I wasn't anticipating a grand entrance, or a celebration, but I certainly wasn't expecting to be completely left out. It all began with a group message from my mother. "Hello everyone, the definitive guest list for Jason's graduation party is finalized. Can't wait to celebrate with you all." I examined the names on the list she provided: cousins, longtime family acquaintances, distant relatives I hadn't encountered since I was 12. Yet my name was conspicuously absent. I checked again, thinking perhaps she had forgotten to include me. She hadn't. Initially, I assumed it was an oversight of some kind. I mean, I am Jason's sister, his elder sister, the one who drove him to university visits, who provided him with rent money on more than one occasion, who stayed awake with him during his late-night study sessions, and refined his thesis because you're better at grammar than I am. So, I telephoned my mother. She answered with her customary cheerful tone. "Hi, darling, what's up? I didn't see my name on the graduation party attendance list," I stated as calmly as I could. There was a pause. "Oh yes, well, dear, Jason wanted it to be more of a youthful gathering, you know, his college friends, that sort of atmosphere. We presumed you'd understand." Understand? Understand what? That my younger brother could host a gathering, and I, his own sibling, wasn't even considered? I remained silent. I simply listened to her ramble through unconvincing explanations. "It's not personal," she added. "We just didn't want things to feel awkward with Ava being there." Ava? My former closest friend. The very same Ava who became involved with Jason a few months after we ceased communication? I hadn't spoken to her since the betrayal, and now she was apparently on the guest roster. "Oh, come on," Mom said when I fell silent. "Don't make a big deal out of this. It's just a party." I ended the call without responding. My hands were trembling. This wasn't merely a party. This represented years of giving, supporting, sacrificing, and suddenly being deemed insignificant when it no longer served their purpose. I had always fulfilled the role of the mediator, the problem solver, the dependable daughter. But evidently, I was only valued when I was useful, and in that moment, something inside me broke. After I concluded the call, I just sat there, gazing at nothing, my thoughts dissolving into a haze of disbelief, resentment, and pain. I couldn't stop dwelling on it. Jason's graduation was a significant event, something I had supported him through every stage of the journey, and now that it was time to celebrate, I wasn't just overlooked, I was intentionally excluded. My own mother made it clear that my presence was inconvenient, that my feelings were secondary to ensuring Ava's comfort. Ava, who had betrayed me and apparently still had an unrestricted entry into the family circle. The more I considered it, the more I recognized how frequently this had occurred, not just now, not just with this party. There had been birthdays they neglected to invite me to, family dinners where I'd be informed at the last minute, or not at all, calls that only came when someone required something. I had always agreed, always appeared, always been the reliable one, and it had led me nowhere. So I closed my laptop, stood up, and retrieved a glass of wine from the kitchen. I took a long sip and gazed out my apartment window at the twilight skyline. Then I picked up my phone, opened my browser, and searched one word: Hawaii. It felt impulsive, reckless even, but it also felt right. If they could host a party without me, I could live my life without seeking their approval. I wasn't about to sit around feeling sorry for myself while they laughed over beverages with Ava as if everything was perfect. I reserved a 5-night stay at a beachfront resort on the Big Island, oceanfront suite, spa access, infinity pool, the complete package. I even upgraded to first class for the flight. For once, I wasn't budgeting for someone else's requirements. I was investing in my own well-being. Once the confirmation emails arrived, I exhaled deeply, a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. Then I opened Instagram and posted a simple story, a photograph of my flight confirmation with the caption: "Uninvited but not unwanted. Island vibes. Family drama." I wasn't anticipating a significant reaction, but within minutes it began. Cousin Tara responded with a laughing emoji. Okay, Queen, go off. My friend Mason messaged. Wait, what? They really didn't invite you? That's messed up. You deserve better. But the one comment that stunned me came from Ava. Yes, Ava. She replied to my story with, Glad you found something to do. We didn't want drama anyway. I froze. My jaw clenched so tightly it ached. She wasn't just tolerating my absence, she was enjoying it, celebrating it, and my own family was allowing her. I didn't reply. I didn't block her either. I simply turned off my notifications, poured another glass of wine, and smiled, because in that moment, I knew I was making the correct choice. The next morning, I packed my belongings with a quiet defiance I hadn't experienced in years. Every swimsuit, every sundress I folded into my luggage felt like an act of rebellion, a declaration of self-worth. The airport hummed with activity, but I glided through it, earbuds in, playlist on, sunglasses concealing my weary eyes. I boarded my flight early and settled into my seat, leather, spacious, comfortable, grateful for the small indulgence. As the plane ascended, I gazed out the window and watched the city disappear beneath the clouds. I wasn't escaping. I was choosing myself. Somewhere over the Pacific, I ordered champagne and took a quick photo of my outstretched legs, drink in hand, captioned, Cheers to being cut off and flying first class. Palm tree airplane. I hit post and leaned back, feeling something I hadn't felt in a very long time, peace. By the time I landed, my direct messages were filled. Tara again. Okay, I'm officially jealous. An old high school friend. You look so unbothered. Teach me your ways. Even Mason chimed back in. You seriously win. Let them have their party, you're having a life. I checked the message requests, just out of curiosity, and sure enough, there she was again, my mom. Where are you? Are you really skipping your brother's graduation over this? No, because of this. I thought. I didn't respond. Outside the airport, a private car awaited me, complete with cold bottled water and fresh orchids on the seat. The air smelled like sea breeze and plumeria. It was as if the world itself was affirming my decision. When I arrived at the resort, the concierge greeted me with a warm towel and a welcome cocktail. I was escorted to my suite, where floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked endless turquoise waves. The bed looked like a cloud. The balcony had a hammock swaying gently in the breeze. I set down my bags and walked straight outside, letting the warm air envelop me. I absorbed it all, the view, the tranquility, the liberation. And posted one more picture, this time of the ocean, with the caption, Cut from the guest list, but not from happiness. Let them see it. Let them feel what I had felt, overlooked, ignored, cast aside. The only difference was, I had no regrets. The next morning, I awoke to soft rays of sunlight filtering through sheer white curtains and the distant sound of waves breaking against the shore. For a moment, I forgot everything, forgot the pain, the family tension, the betrayal. I was enveloped in a cocoon of peace, the kind that made you believe the world was still gentle. Then my phone vibrated, once, twice, then 10 times in a row. First, I disregarded it. I assumed it was more reactions to my last post, perhaps Mason making jokes or Tara sending another, living your best life meme. But then the names flashing across the screen made me sit up. Mom, Jason, Cousin Rob, Aunt Janice, Grandma. Back-to-back missed calls, voicemails, texts piling in faster than I could scroll through them. I sat up, pulled the robe tighter around me, and hesitated before unlocking the screen. The first message was from Jason. Can you please answer? It's bad. Then from Mom. We need you. There's been a disaster. Disaster? I blinked, heart pounding, not from concern but from confusion. Then I opened the message from Cousin Rob. Brooke, you dodged a bullet. The party turned into a complete mess, though. I blinked at the screen, the smallest smile tugging at my lips. I tapped to read more. Apparently, midway through the graduation party, Jason and Ava had a huge argument in front of everyone. According to Rob, Jason accused her of cheating with someone from her department. She denied it loudly, and the argument escalated rapidly, screaming, crying, drinks spilled, people filming. At some point, Ava slapped Jason across the face, stormed out, and took his car. But that wasn't even the climax. Aunt Janice tried to intervene, slipped on the patio, and bruised her hip. Grandma, who hadn't even wanted to come, started crying and said the whole party was cursed. And in the background of all of this, my mom was apparently panicking, trying to salvage things, but the venue cut the open bar early due to the commotion. I scrolled, stunned and mildly amused. Then I saw the crowning touch, a video. Jason, slurring, stumbling, grabbing the microphone from the DJ and saying, "I guess this night's about betrayal, so cheers to fake friends and faker family." The video ended with him being pulled off stage. I laughed, truly laughed, for the first time in days, not because I was cruel, but because this was the very party they insisted would be awkward if I attended, the one I was too dramatic for, too much of a problem for. And yet, somehow, they still managed to self-destruct without me. A minute later my phone rang again. This time, it was Tara. I answered, already smiling. "Let me guess, you're calling from the wreckage?" She burst out laughing. "Girl, it was like a soap opera. You would have loved it if you hadn't been banned." I grinned. "Give me the highlight reel." Tara didn't hold back. She walked me through every twist, Ava storming out with Jason's car keys, Mom sobbing in a bathroom, Uncle Rick and Aunt Janice blaming each other for not intervening sooner, and Grandma dramatically declaring the family cursed by betrayal. "I think she was quoting you," Tara joked. "Perfect," I said, sipping my morning coffee with the most scenic view I'd ever had. Then Tara added something that made me pause. "Oh, and by the way, people started saying the drama wouldn't have happened if you had been there." I blinked. "Wait, what?" "Yeah, Aunt Janice told your mom that you're usually the one who talks Jason down when he spirals. Then your mom said something about how maybe they should have asked you to come after all." I stared at the screen. "Let me get this straight. I was excluded because my presence might cause drama, and now they're blaming the lack of my presence for the actual drama?" Tara snorted. "Yep. Poetic, right?" I leaned back into the lounge chair on my balcony, letting the warm breeze play through my hair. I should have been angry, should have felt smug or vindicated. Instead, I just felt free. "They're planning some kind of family meeting when you get back," Tara added. I laughed again. "Yeah, that's not happening." "Didn't think so," she said with a grin in her voice. "You staying out there longer?" I didn't answer immediately. I looked out at the ocean, the waves curling gently across the sand. Then I opened a browser tab and searched for Hawaii Resort extensions. With a few taps, I added another 5 days to my stay. Then I posted one more photo, palm trees swaying under a clear blue sky, and wrote, "Sometimes peace means choosing to stay gone. Let them fix their mess. Let them talk circles around their regrets. Let them hold their family meetings and whisper about curses and missed opportunities." As for me, I was just getting started. The sun had just descended below the horizon, painting the ocean in deep shades of pink and orange. I was relaxing under a cabana, sipping a mango cocktail with a paper umbrella that was purely decorative but still made me feel delightfully luxurious. The air smelled like sea salt and hibiscus. There was soft island music playing somewhere in the distance. It was perfect. Then my phone vibrated again. I rolled my eyes before even checking it. I'd blocked Mom, Jason, and a handful of other relatives already, but voicemails and messages were still slipping through from unknown numbers. I considered throwing the phone into the sand, but curiosity prevailed. This time, it was from my cousin Lisa. "Okay, I know you're ignoring everyone, and honestly I get it, but I swear you're going to want to hear this. Call me. You have to hear what Grandma said." I stared at the message for a moment, then grinned. Lisa was usually the one who stayed out of drama, which meant if she was reaching out, something truly outrageous had transpired. I hit call. She answered immediately, whispering like she was hiding behind a curtain. "You're calling me?" Thank God. Okay, are you sitting down? I looked around at the 5-star beachfront resort enveloping me like a dream and smirked. Yeah, I think I'm in a pretty good place for this. Okay, she said, practically breathless. So, after the whole party exploded, Ava storming out, Jason sobbing, the bar shutting down, your mom and Aunt Janice got into it. I raised an eyebrow. Over what? You, she said flatly. I blinked. Wait, what? Yeah, Aunt Janice said the whole meltdown could have been avoided if you were there, that you're the only one who's ever been able to calm Jason when he spirals. I almost dropped my drink from laughing. So the same people who cut me out are now blaming me for not being there to clean up their disaster? It gets better, Lisa said. Your mom said Janice was being dramatic, and then Grandma cut them both off, stood up, raised a finger, and said, and I quote, "This is what happens when you alienate family. The universe takes note." I laughed so loud that a couple walking by turned and smiled. Oh, and then she added, maybe if you hadn't treated Brooke like an outsider, Jason wouldn't be alone right now. I shook my head, stunned. Grandma actually said that? Lisa chuckled loud enough for half the room to hear. I think she was hoping you'd appear out of thin air just to say, I told you so. That would have been a power move, I admitted. But anyway, Lisa said, Mom tried to reach out to the groom's family to smooth things over, and his mom said, this sounds like a personal issue, then hung up. I nearly choked on my cocktail. Oh my God! Yep, it's been a symphony of disaster, but somehow all roads lead back to you. It's like they forgot they cut you out in the first place. I leaned back, eyes on the horizon. You know what the best part is, Lisa? What? I don't care. She burst out laughing. You know what? Good. You shouldn't. I just thought you'd appreciate hearing that karma came around wearing heels. I smiled. I appreciate it more than you know. There was a moment of quiet on the line. Then Lisa said softly, You really did the right thing, Brooke. I mean it. You don't deserve the way they treat you. Thanks, I murmured. And I'm not going back. Not to fix things. Not to make it okay. They made their choice. Respect, she replied. So, are you really staying longer? Already extended my trip another 5 days. Lisa whistled. That's iconic. I laughed again, feeling that warm flush of affirmation settle in my chest. Let them have their family meetings and passive-aggressive texts. I'm going to have a beachfront massage and zero guilt. She chuckled. Live your best life, and send me a photo of your breakfast tomorrow. I want to live vicariously. Deal? We hung up, and I stared at the sky. It was deep blue now, with a scattering of stars just beginning to shimmer. I hadn't felt this light in years. No guilt, no obligation, no emotional blackmail wrapped in guilt-laced family talk. I opened my messages one more time and scrolled through the blocked notifications, Mom, Jason, even Ava. I let out a soft laugh. Then I posted one final photo for the night, my drink against the backdrop of a glowing ocean. The caption, They wanted me out, so I stayed gone. Best decision I've ever made. Then I turned my phone off completely, waved to the server for another round, and let the sound of waves drown out everything else. For once, I wasn't the fixer. I wasn't the scapegoat. I wasn't the forgotten one waiting to be remembered. I was just free. The next morning, I awoke to the sound of gentle waves and the scent of plumeria drifting in through the open balcony doors. I stretched under the soft cotton sheets, a warm sense of peace lingering in my chest. I hadn't dreamed about family drama. I hadn't woken up dreading messages or obligations. Just calm. I rolled over, picked up my phone half out of habit, and hesitated. Part of me wanted to stay completely unplugged, but curiosity got the better of me. The notifications flooded in instantly, even with most of them blocked. Voicemails and texts had slipped through like water under a closed door. First one. Mom, you need to stop acting like a child and call me. This isn't funny anymore. Then Jason. I can't believe you're doing this. You're my sister. We're supposed to be family. Another from an unknown number. likely Aunt Janice. We need to talk. This family needs fixing before it's too late. I rolled my eyes and pressed delete. Their tone had shifted so fast, from dismissive to desperate, from indifferent to demanding. It was almost laughable. A week ago, I wasn't even worth inviting to a celebration. Now I was the missing piece in their crumbling narrative. Then one message caught my attention. It was from Lisa. Just a heads up, your mom's trying to gather the family for a healing discussion when you get back. Thought you'd want to know. I actually laughed aloud. They expected me to return, sit in a circle, nod through forced apologies, and pretend this hadn't happened, like I'd be the bigger person, like I'd sweep it under the rug again. I typed back, "Thanks for the warning, but I won't be there." Lisa replied almost instantly, "Wait, what do you mean?" I smiled as I crafted my response. "I'm extending my trip. They wanted to cut me out. Okay, I'm cutting myself off for good." I could almost see her reaction, that wide-eyed mix of shock and admiration. A few seconds later, her response came. "Okay, that's iconic. Tell me everything when you get back, whenever that is." Followed by tears of joy emoji. With a grin, I opened my laptop and clicked through the resort's booking portal. A few taps later, I'd added another full week to my stay. No family meetings, no drama, no forced reconciliation, just peace. Before heading to the beach, I sent one final message to the group thread I had muted for days. "Oh, so now you want me around? Sorry, I'm too busy enjoying my overreaction. Have fun cleaning up your own messes." Then I blocked them all again. I tossed my phone onto the bed, slipped into a sundress, and walked barefoot across the warm wooden deck toward the beach. The breeze kissed my skin. The sun lit the water in gold. And for the first time in what felt like forever, there was no guilt, no anger, no weight on my chest. Just me, whole, unbothered, and finally free.